What's going on, guys? It's Tony, Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always. Coming to you today to do an off the rails about the state of our fair game, Magic the Gathering. Now, excuse me. Now, over the past couple days, today is May 14th. Over the past few days, there's been tons of news worth noting. The Mark Rosewater Twitter feud with a bunch of players. Some of the polls he was posting on Tumblr and questions he was asking about the state of the game. The news that just came out about the players getting a heads up on paper, tournaments, going to arena, shit like that. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm not worried about that. There's a lot of good content creators out there giving their opinion. And I think that to just sum up everything in one quick word, every single one of the stories that I could comment on is pretty much embarrassing for Wizards of the Coast. So I started thinking about all this, and I thought to myself, I haven't made a video in a while, and I'd like to, talk about what's going on. It's kind of tough to put a video together anymore because of, these uncertain times that we can't really, we can't say the words. But that uncertain time, it's the Budweiser, if you know what I'm saying. Hint, hint. So I really started thinking about the state of the game. Where is it going? And I'm not even worried about the secondary market. I'm not worried about the fetch lands. I'm not worried about a lot of other things in this video. I'm worried about where the power level is going for Magic. Because I think it's getting to a point where we have to discuss it. Every set seems to try and topple the other. We used to have a format where we'd have a really good set, maybe a bad set, and it would go back and forth. There'd be a little bit of a yin and yang, if you will. And now it just feels like we're trying to one up every set. It's whose piece is bigger. And I think that between that and Companions, which I tried to go into with an open mind. I tried not to think about these in a negative way. I wanted to give people a chance to play with them and see if it really was going to be as broken as it looked. And it was. It was. Boy, oh boy, was it. But I think that because balance is... that question that Mark Rosewater asked, innovation versus balance is bad for business. Let's just keep it real. Innovation is what we're getting in Ikoria. Balance is what we get in bad sets. That's the truth, boys and girls. Go look at it. Those sets that are completely balanced and there's 2 or 3 really good, maybe guilds or creature types or whatever, especially when you're talking about standard, that's where that balance versus innovation comes in. So I think that when it comes to standard and the new release of products in that capacity, which of course impacts modern and pioneer primarily, and then trickles down to legacy, vintage, EDH, and everything else, I think they're going to continue that power level. And I think they're going to continue to try and innovate into new types of cards and really weird mechanics and things that there's going to be misses. And I've always talked about, I support attempting new things. I support that in their position. What I don't support is ignoring the research and testing or research and development or play testing, whatever you want to call it. I don't support that. And that is what I think we're missing right now. I think there's a lot of a push to be the most new, hip, and exciting thing out there. And I just don't see how that's good for the game when every set is trying to be bigger than the last one. There has to be a ceiling, and we need to kind of hit that ceiling and start coming back down. Just a little bit. I think you can find a good mix of balance and innovation, but that is your challenge. That's kind of part of what your job is. There's a lot of things they could have done to, maybe keep Companions in check, but make it a fun and viable option to play with. There's a lot of things they could have done. We'll make another video on that at some point. But I would just, I would be open and honest about this one, guys. this is going to be one of those it's going to consistently increase. And it may only be a handful of cards in each set that are just absurdly powerful and are the issue, or it might be an entire set. But I think there's going to continue to be that push that helps them make money, that helps produce high dollar cards, that helps do a lot of things that put people who are impacted by the game's financial outcome in a good spot. Let's just put it like that. Which it's tough for us to ignore that aspect. Like, we wouldn't care if we were in their spot. It's okay to be upset with the decisions they make. It's okay to criticize them, but we can't pretend like we wouldn't be challenged with some of those same things if it means the bottom line and our overall income is impacted. So it's a lot of weird stuff to think about. I'm kind of hoping that Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro Games, I kind of hope that they send out some kind of message to their staff, like, shut the fuck up, and just kind of let's just get through this crisis as quietly as possible. That is my take on it. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Lord only knows. I mean, tomorrow is the release of Ikoria, but Lord only knows what else is going to happen. I mean, we have no idea. We have no clue whatsoever. Like, every time that I feel that Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro has done the stupidest thing they can, they topple that. They take it to the next level. They do things that you don't want to see a business that's running this game like this. You don't want to see that. It doesn't matter if it's, dissected or broken apart from the financial aspect and the program aspect and the card aspect and all that. It doesn't matter if you try and say that they're separated, because they're not. They're all interwoven. And I think that it all just creates a bad environment for the future of the game. Kind of went off on a rant there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Tony K, living the dream as always with Urban Girl Scout Media.